Good morning and welcome once again to our business community discussions that we're doing right here on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page and also on the Alpha Media YouTube channel. You can catch these things, of course, in the past and like and comment and share, but we'd love it when you do it in real time as well and actually become part of the show. When you like and make comments on Facebook, we'll see those and they'll pop up on the screen and we can talk about those live as we have our conversations today. So welcome aboard. We've got a great show once again today and let's bring on our regular contributors. We want to thank, of course, Cheryl O'Hearn, who does so much to put these things together for us. So good morning and welcome, Cheryl.
Good morning. Yeah, we had a great program today again. I know I say that every week, but we just keep finding such fun things about the community. So we're going to talk about the video that's out there that we want to really highlight. Ben Acree, who is a Fort Dodge native. What better way to have him do a special mural commissioned by him from the state of Iowa in Fort Dodge. And all we have to do is vote for our video. That's it.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that and showing people and telling people how to do that. But let's bring on Rachel Copper, and she's kind of part of your team now, Cheryl.
Yes, she is. Rachel has joined us here from Augustana University as an intern this summer. She was in charge of the program today, so she has Dr. Ben Acree coming on talking about Fort Dodge mountain bike, and she's been working on our programs going forward. So her degree is going to be in business communication and media. So what a better way to learn more about it than doing things like this and hopping on the show.
Well, great. Rachel, welcome, and we're glad to have you aboard as well. So let's
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. We're excited to have people on the show, and since you put it together, I'm sure you'll probably have some opportunities to jump in and with comments and questions and all of those things as well. So we'll get to that. Let's bring on Chris Patrick with Main Street Fort Dodge. Chris, good morning. It's always good to see you once again, and I know it's like every time I'm out on the town, I see you. That's how I feel. Like every time I'm out on Main Street or downtown, there you are. Always busy with some program, always busy with something that you've got going on.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, Jed. That's awesome. Well, yeah, we just wrapped up our Pick It Up Fort Dodge receptacles and that install. That was a fabulous project. So many volunteers worked on that. So we have to shout out to them. So lots of helping hands in the downtown. Always lots of things going on. So I want to thank everybody in the downtown for being part of that project. And I agree with Cheryl. We'll talk a little bit about this Unite Iowans video that we put in, but we need everyone in the community to vote for our video every day through June 30th. So.
Well, and that is what our show is today. It's the Unite Iowa Video Contest, and we're going to be talking with Dr. Ben Acree with Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Group. So before we get into the mountain bike group, I think the first thing on the agenda is actually this video. So let's quickly talk about that before we begin talking about mountain biking. So what is this video? Where did it come from? What's it about? Give us kind of the scoop on this video, Chris.
Sure. So this video came about from a mass email that went out from the governor's office back, I think it was May 18th. That every community or city in the state had an opportunity to enter a video to win a mural by Ben Acree. He's a native Fort Dodge person for their community. So we got a group of people together. Of course, Cheryl has done most of the work, as always. Ron Grebner, we had Fort Dodge Fine Arts, that's Shelley Bodorf, also jumped in. And she created, with a lyricist, some new lyrics to a couple of standard tunes that really showcase every really great place in Fort Dodge. It's hard to get them all in within 60 seconds, but Cheryl and Shelley did a fabulous job of doing that. So we were just showcasing all of our businesses, the fact that we have big community support for all of our local independent businesses, and these really great, unique places here in Fort Dodge.
Yeah, so, and there was so many places to go that we had to show that there's no way we could have videotaped everything in the time frame that we needed to. So we actually modified it and used photos that went along with the music on it. So it's a video with a montage of photos that go with it and showcase our community. And yeah, we just need people to vote. It's that easy.
So we did identify the wall that we would like this mural to go on. We had 2 or 3 places in the downtown that were really more gateways into the downtown, but our committee focused on the north side of the Darriette. I mean, we have 100 or more cars a day go through there during ice cream season, right? So what a great way to really showcase that and have a good selfie place too for people to stand on that little park in front of there and get their picture taken. So we're looking at the image that WooBox decided to throw up for our video. I don't know why they picked this image that's in the middle of the video instead of picking the cover page that shows the downtown. But you live with what you've got. So you can see that it is someone graduating from Iowa Central Community College. So that's the picture that you're going to be looking for. And you'll just click on that image. And we have this link on our Facebook page, on our Instagram. Spin Market has it. Cheryl's been really good about pushing it out there in a lot of different spaces. The Messenger has it on their Facebook page too. So you can find this. You can also type in that Unite Iowans, that will come up, and you can see the woobox.com and our site right there. So that is where you would go to vote for us. Vote once a day. And voting closes, I believe, at 5 p.m. on June 30th. So we have just under a week to get as many votes as possible. I have not checked this morning, but I know yesterday we were in 4th and 5th place. It just kind of.
We've been staying right at 4th, and this one's a good one. Now, the one thing that we need to tell everybody is you only get 1 vote per day. That's it. Not 1 vote per video. 1 vote total. So if you click Pella and give them a vote, you're done for the day. So
don't do that.
Yeah. So we want you to go to this one here because we want to be where Pella is at. We're about halfway. We're about 50% of what Pella has on theirs, and all of these are great videos. We're not. We wanted to really cheer off each of these business or each of these communities that went through all this work because it's a lot of work to do this. It's not something that you just throw together, but at the same time, we what a shame would be if we didn't have Ben be doing the mural for the state of Iowa in our own community of where was born and raised and honed his creative abilities out there. So that's why 1 vote a day. Make sure that you share it and let everybody else know, and that's all there is to it. It's that simple.
Very good. So yeah, that's exciting. We'd love to get that mural done right here in Fort Dodge. He's from Fort Dodge. Do the mural in Fort Dodge. We've got to win this thing, right? So, but do your job, vote, and then share it with your family and your friends. And I think we can, the thing that I'm looking at this is, and I'm taking a look at it. It's not as though there's so many votes that the lead is insurmountable, right?
Oh no.
I mean, you look at this and you go, if we get just, a few people, if we could find 100 people to vote every day for the next several days, that's a win, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at.
And we're a community of 25,000. So if you think even if like 10% of our population just voted, for those days, look where we would be. So definitely please share this with all your friends, your kids, your colleagues.
It could be anybody. They don't have to be out of Fort Dodge or Iowa. They could be someone that used to live here and is your friend. And, we want it all over. So please, 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 please. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be embarrassed if we don't win since Ben is from our own community. So anyway, nothing to do with me. I want Ben to win.
Very good.
Cheryl, thank you and Spin Market for doing all of the work and getting that video up and going for us. And also Shelly and her lyricist friend for creating, a new version of those 2 songs to put in that video. That's what makes it so unique and fun to watch.
Exactly. And I need to give a shout out to Rachel because she was so helpful. I gave her the lyrics and she helped me find photos on it because that's a daunting task in just itself to try to find all the photos that match up with the music.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, well, let's keep this show moving. Let's talk about one of the other things that we've got going on, and to do that, we're going to bring on Dr. Ben Acree with the Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Group. Good morning. It's good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. You know, I grew up in the area, but I'm back in Fort Dodge now for the last 2 years, and it seems like I'm still finding things in our area that are just neat and amazing draws and great things to do with a family on a weekend, or even, you know, on a weekday if you have the time. So let's talk about the mountain bike trails that you guys have been working on and are open and available to the public.
Yeah, let's do it.
So you guys have a video that has popped out recently, and folks are welcome to go to it. I spent about, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes watching it this morning already. And I mean, it's 17 minutes long, but I think if you just watch even a few minutes of it, you find that, man, this is a really great trail. But if you would, talk to me about, like, you know, how long has this trail been there? What was the start of it? Just the beginnings and sort of the origin story of the Lizard Creek Mountain Bike Trail.
Well, it started before I moved back to town, or right around then. I guess there was some really rough trails that some folks would go back and, you know, just kind of ride their bikes on. And maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it's kind of morphed into something much more refined and expanded as well. As more people have found out about it, more hardcore mountain bikers gotten back there. We've got organized as a group and started to refine and expand it to what it is today. There's a couple of guys that have been hard at it for a number of years, Ron Jacobson and Sean Allstott, and some others that I forgive me if I don't know their names, but I know there's a couple of people that have been doing things back there for a while that I don't know. But Ron Jacobson and Sean Allstott have continued to put a lot of hours in with more riders.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like this was kind of one of those things where, you know, you just maybe had a few guys who kind of knew about this thing and were just, you know, off the record, just back in there, ripping it up a little bit, having a good time. But it was rough, right? Like not a lot of maintained trails back in there. And it sounds like the Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Group has really taken this on to say, you know what, let's make this a project. Let's turn this into something we can really be proud of.
Yeah, that's definitely right. It's much more fun if the trails are maintained and you're not getting hit with, you know, weeds and brush and twigs and stuff like that. But also, even, you know, advancing as you advance riding, there's a lot more depth to creating trails as far as the flow of things. You know, if you're back there riding as a beginner and you come up to a really steep hill that you can barely get up, you know, how fun is that? So you got to think about the trails as far as the flow of the trail, something that's not, you know, excessively difficult to maintain your momentum riding, or certainly, you know, that's not dangerous. So it's become a lot more refined. We've mapped it out. There's signage down there. You know, that's another thing that we've really put a lot of time into the last year, is signage, and thought of you know, some of the trails are one way just to make it safe so that you're not running into other people, whether it be, you know, other bikers, or some of the trails are designated as biking only, and there is still some foot traffic on there. So you just got to put a lot more depth of thought and to, you know, safety of riders and potential walkers down there too.
Yeah, that's certainly something you have to think through. As I was watching the video, something that definitely occurred to me is, you know, there's something out there for most skill levels. If you're a beginner, there's probably something out there for you. And if you're more advanced, there's some things out there for you as well.
Yeah, that's correct. There's 4 loops really right now. So you could go down to, we've named it Lizard Creek Mountain Bike Park, because you have the Lizard Creek right there at the intersection of the Lizard Creek and Des Moines River. And again, as far as the location of this, it's just west of Amigos. Everyone kind of knows where Amigos is, or the Painted Silo. So it's a great location. It's in town, so we don't have to travel far as a Fort Dodge resident to get there. And then you have the scenery of the Lizard Creek and the Des Moines River. So It's nice. You got about 12 miles of trail that you could go and do each of the 4 loops. The main hub of that, or the trailhead, is at the Lizard Creek, I guess, boat ramp there. And just within the last year, the city is, and in conjunction with Webster County Conservation, have put in a toilet at the trailhead. But there is what's called the lower Lizard Loop. And that's about a 3.1 mile loop that goes in between the railroad tracks and the Lizard Creek, and it goes all the way out to 169. So it's a giant loop that you pretty much can't get lost in that. And that's what we consider like the beginner course. There's still a little challenge. Like if you're new to mountain biking, you may be challenged with just some, like even a 3-foot little hill to roll down, just because you're not, used to it. It's not like a paved smooth trail. So there's a little undulation with it. And then advancing beyond that, there's a couple other loops that have a bit more technical demand, as well as physical demand with some hills. So there's some challenge with, climbing up a hill, and some challenge when maintaining control going down some of the hills too.
Yeah. Well, and watching it, you mentioned that it's not a perfectly smooth surface, and that's mountain biking, right? But also you see some streams and creeks and things that it runs through, and it's really neat to see some of the wooden bridges that you get to ride on as a part of it, things like that.
Yeah, we put quite a bit of time and sweat equity into making some of the bridges there. And the benefit of the bridge is to stay off of muddy areas, or some areas where it may be impossible to ride over, or certainly challenging to ride over for a beginner or intermediate. So the bridges just kind of add to the flow of things, so you can continue riding. It's a safety thing, but also it's a fun flow thing, but it's also to prevent damage to the trail. So if you're riding a bike through a muddy trail, number one, it's not so fun, but it damages the trail. So you got to think through that as far as like design a trail as well. So it's overpassing, things that you certainly wouldn't be able to ride over, or, to prevent damage to the trail itself. And we put in we built 8 bridges last year just to maintain flow, or, to make it more fun or safer, or just continue to be able to ride through the trail.
Right. Now, is this project something that has solely been handled as, a private group by the Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Group, or have you guys had some private partner, public partnerships with this?
The city's certainly, been very helpful with that. They've provided some labor, as well as Webster County Conservation. Kyle was one of the employees between the city and the county, and he would greatly help us out with providing some equipment like the signage, trail markers, going down with some equipment that we can't, as a private group, can't afford to, buy a bulldozer or a dump truck. And David Fierk and Lori Branderhorst have been helpful with helping give the okay to, move into different areas, and give us, certainly provide the toilet down there, which is nice. If people from out of town drive in to ride the mountain bike trails, then they may have to use the restroom, and that's nice to have. It's a big asset. But yeah, we've had a lot of private donations as well. The bike shop here in town, Chris Walker, but the bike shop has been instrumental in providing funds to purchase new equipment. We just bought a $600 backpack leaf blower for mid-country machine to blow off the trails. And we've had other donations of other equipment like weed eaters and cash donations. So it really does help. It goes a long way, especially with the lumber prices, what they are, these days. But yeah, and Amigos has been very helpful. They're right across the river. He provided some food and drink for trail building days. He provided some money for equipment as well. And actually, he just put up a bike stand station at Amigos to, if you got to top off air in your tires, or he's put some equipment on the side of I guess it's the east-facing wall of Amigos. Outside there, some bike tools. So if you drove into town, like, oh shoot, I need some air, you don't have to go find a gas station, shoot over Amigos and top off air in the tires or wrench the bike a little bit if you have to. So a lot more people, as they become aware of the trails, have really been helpful in trying to move it forward faster, and it's coming along quite a bit.
As I think it's sort of just the way it goes in probably any community, but I find that there are these really neat gems that I just didn't know about, and this being one of them, right? Until just a couple days ago, I went, wow, this is a neat thing that Fort Dodge has. I can't wait to go out and take advantage of this sort of thing. But I'm guessing that there's some folks who from outside our area who are into the mountain biking scene and things like that have already found out about this and probably coming over and checking out what you guys have done.
Yeah, we've had a lot of chatter, like, there's some mountain biking social media kind of groups that word spreads, and especially again with mountain biking, people will travel for good mountain bike trails. So we've had a lot of positive feedback from folks that have heard about it, and like, hey, I'm gonna, there's a number of mountain bikers that will travel over Iowa just to ride new trails and check it out. And so we've had a number of people come up from Ames, from Des Moines, even as far as Cedar Rapids, come over. They've heard about the good trails here, and they come over and like, wow. So we've had a lot of positive feedback after they've rode the trails, giving us, kudos for, hey, keep it up. Any way I can help, I'll be happy to come up and pitch in to, do some trail work. So and that just furthers our, motivation. We kind of take pride given how much work we've put into it. So it's exciting.
Yeah. You talked a little bit about the I guess lower loop, the more what you would consider beginner. Let's talk about those other three loops. What's encompassed in those other three loops, and what can people expect? Because it does seem like there's a variety of terrain and different sort of scenery as you go through it.
Yeah, that lower loop is pretty flat, so there's not a lot of climbing. You're not going to climb up any major hills. There's a little bit of light technical demand. I guess the gem for intermediate bikers would be, or even beginner, would be what's called a upper lizard loop, and that's about a 3.4 mile loop. And that's got some elevation. So there's several climbs, which are good. If you want to go out and get a good workout in, you can, put the effort in to climb up the hill. But the advantage is you get to come down that hill too. And there's a couple of nice downhills. One that everyone always talks about is what's called Candy, named by Ron Jacobson. And that's the final downhill that you exit out of the upper lizard loop there. And it's kind of takes advantage of this little ravine where you kind of swoop from side to side. And I guess people just, that's the number one positive comment is, hey, I love that thing. I'll keep coming back for that just to ride down that downhill. So that's a good, that's my favorite loop as well. Finney Loop is a very new loop. It's about a 1.7 mile loop. We really just roughed that in last year, and we just moved along very quickly with finishing that loop. And last November, we added to that loop and added what's called an over-under bridge. And we built this bridge in one day. We had all the material, went out, put like 12, 13 hours in, and that's going to be a gem. Both for riding, it's fun. It's very visually attractive because you ride over this bridge, you loop around and ride under it. But I think this video here, I believe, is the Candy downhill. And here I'm riding behind one of our workers here, Jake Moore. And I believe that's it. And people will watch that. Like there's certain videos that people will watch, especially mountain bikers, like, oh man, that looks really cool. I can't believe that's, in Iowa or, certainly in Fort Dodge, as far as like the trail. So, once things get out there on video, it can be attractive for especially other mountain bikers to, hey, I'm going to go up to Fort Dodge and check that out.
Yeah, very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the work you guys are doing, because you talked about, purchasing the leaf blower. what kind of maintenance is going into maintaining all of these miles of trails that you guys now have put in? Because, you want these extra loops, you want these extra things, but once you put those in, it's like, oh man, now I have to maintain it, right?
Yeah. The maintenance is certainly not nearly as labor intensive as actually building the trail. But the nice thing is we have a core group of guys that have a high degree of work ethic. That's the nice thing about the Midwest is the work ethic. So people will show up and put the work in. And as far as the maintenance, 2 times a year, or in the spring and summer, it really depends on how much rain we get. But you can get weeds that overgrow. So we'll have guys go down and do a power session of 4 or 5 guys with some weed eaters and hedge trimmers, and go down and just knock back the weeds to keep it clean. Certainly, like with the last couple of days, we've had some good wind, and we'll have guys itching to go down. Like, okay, are there trees down? And that's a big thing too. That'll be a little bit more labor intensive. If we get a good wind, some old trees will go down across the trail, and we'll go down and if anyone pays attention to the Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Club's Facebook page, we always try to be attentive to posting the trail conditions, whether it be mud or rain, or, hey, there's a tree down on this loop. And pretty quickly, we have guys that just itch like, hey, I got to get down there, like 6 o'clock at night. I got to get down and clear it out. And they'll be down there chainsawing to clear it out quickly to open it up. So it's kind of funny that way.
Okay,
but
so it sounds a little bit like
just to go down, and if you've ever weeded your yard, like, boy, that was a hard 30 minutes. Try weeding, 3 miles at once.
Right.
Myself and Sean, and we have guys that put a ton of hours in. But just like last weekend with the new backpack blower, I went down and weed eated some, and then Sean showed up with the backpack blower, and he's like, "Oh, this thing is awesome." I was like, "Well, I got to try that." And I blew off Lower Lizard. It was 3 miles of blowing the trail, and Sean did upper, and we were just destroyed physically. It was like, man, that was so hard. But and again, I wouldn't be surprised if Ron Jacobson is down there right now, doing something to clean up the trails or do whatnot. He cannot be off that trail doing something. So there's always guys down there cleaning up and working, and just clearing and making it safe, and certainly more fun to ride.
Very cool. Well, there's a lot going on, and I was excited to watch the video. I'm excited to talk to you about all the things that you guys have going on. If somebody does want to keep in touch, if somebody does want to say, hey, I want to watch these videos, what's the best way to get more information and find out about the trails?
The easiest way is just our Facebook page, Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Club on Facebook. We have the link under the about, of Fort Dodge Mountain Bike Club. We have a Facebook page as well, Fort Dodge MTB Club. And there's a Venmo thing if someone wants to donate money. I know down in the toilet, there's a VR a code you can scan in to donate money that goes to Venmo. But the Facebook page is the best thing. We'll always post, certain things like trail work days, club meetings, trail conditions on the Facebook page, as well as, hey, we were in need of, this piece of equipment, if you want to donate, that kind of thing. And as far as the fun stuff, videos, people are posting, videos of themselves riding or other people, or, people like, hey, I got a new bike, or I've got a bike for my child. Took him out on the Lizard Creek Trail and had a great time. So just that kind of stuff, it's nice because it can appeal to riders of all technical abilities and all ages. And that's the cool thing. It's not like ultra competitive. So you can go down and just kind of ride Lower Lizard and be, near out in nature, and especially with all the COVID stuff last year, to be able to go out and do something, more isolating, or now certainly with things opening, just as a group and, with family and that kind of thing. So the Facebook pages would be the primary way to check things out.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all that you guys are doing to, provide a great thing for our community. It's nice for not only our local people, but also as a draw for people to move here, a draw for people to come here and just economically spend time in our community. So thanks for all you guys are doing. We sure appreciate it.
Oh, great. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna change topics and talk about some other things. But Ben, you're welcome to stay on if you like. But if you've got to run, we certainly understand that too.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks for having me.
You bet.
All right.
Kudos to you, Ben, and all your volunteers. We know how hard that is, and it is greatly appreciated. And we're glad that you were able to give us more information about it, because I knew a little bit, but you've given me a lot more as well. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
Well,
Appreciate
we
it.
had 5 travel writers in this week. The Convention and Visitors Bureau had the Midwest Travel Network here, and they went to the mountain bike trails and had the best time. That was one of their highlights. So they will be blogging about that too. So we're trying to help you out, Ben.
Yeah, I've seen their videos. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Chris, one of the other things that you've got going on right now is coming up on Lunch on the Square. So let's talk about Lunch on the Square and what people need to know to get involved with it.
So this is tomorrow. I can't believe it's tomorrow. I don't know where the month of June has gone. Our first Lunch on the Square since 2019. Our retail group, Main Street Merchants, is the sponsors of this, and they are listed on that flyer. I want to thank all of them for jumping back in to this effort. Lunch is $6. So we are serving pulled chicken sandwiches, and that was a request from the previous year when we've done this, is that the people that come to the lunches want more than one kind of meat. So we're doing a chicken meal this month. July is going to be pork ribeye sandwiches from the pork producers, and then on August it's going to be some sort of a steak sandwich. So tomorrow we are serving potato salad, a chicken shredded chicken sandwich, chips, a cookie, and a water for $6. And this is a fundraiser for Main Street Fort Dodge. We do need some funding to help us put on more free and low-cost events for the community. So that this is how we pull those funds together. And we have Clint Rydell from the Blue Ribbon Ramblers, and he will be performing for an hour from noon to 1 o'clock. So really excited to have him performing tomorrow too. Lunch starts at 11:30 and runs to 1 o'clock. And we are right by the gazebo. You can see that great graphic up on the screen. And again, thanks to Joe Seltz, the Dairyette really is coordinating the efforts of this first Lunch on the Square, and all of those great retailers and businesses in the downtown.
That's great. I can't tell you how much I love being back to meeting in person, having lunches on the square, all of these things. Man, that's just exciting that we can be back to this. And I'm guessing that most of your retailers are excited to be back to it as well.
They really are. You know, we are doing more hand washing stations will be down there, little social distancing for tables. Where we're serving the food, we're going to make sure there's more distance between the people walking through the line and where the food is itself. So definitely putting some safeguards in place, have our food permit by the state of Iowa. So following all those regulations, but they're very excited. And we also have a few partners, kind of behind the scenes partners. Shiny Top supplies ice for us for the event. The Growth Alliance is allowing us to use their picnic tables so people have a place to sit. It's a community effort. So we're just kind of leading that charge, but everybody's pulling together. So we want to thank the whole community.
Yeah, that's great. As we head into summer, it just seems to me like we are packed with fairs. We are packed with events that are going on. It's very quickly for me becoming like looking at COVID in the rearview mirror, because all of the things that we used to do are back on my desk in one form or another. So really excited for all the events that are coming up. And we're just a couple weeks away from Celebration. Well, I guess like a week and a half now away from Celebration. Big concert, Cheap Trick 38 special in Fort Dodge. That's going to be great. I'm excited about that one. It just seems like, Chris, we've just got event after event packed up through the summer.
We really do. And really, it kicked off with the Frontier Days Parade that first weekend in June. And then we had a vendor fair down here by Kitchener Square. That's by the Dairyette. I believe there were close to 20 vendors that day So I think you're going to see more vendor fairs popping up. I know there's a lot of things going on at the Webster County Fairgrounds, so things there almost every single weekend. We did our event for Pick It Up for Dodge last weekend, and there were 18 events in the county going on at the same time. So lots to do. So if somebody says there's nothing to do here, don't smack them upside the head. Just send them to one of our great websites, right? That has the list of the calendar events. But sometimes you just, you want to make sure that people know that there is so many great things going on. No matter what your interest is, there's something for you here in Fort Dodge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk with Cheryl a little bit about some of the things that you've got going on. I know you guys are super busy. You've been putting together videos. You've been putting together this app for downtown and working on that. There's just so much that you guys are working on with our community.
Well, yeah, those are some of the things that we've been partnering with. And again, I have to shout out to Rachel because she did the QR codes for the Pick It Up. So what's really fun about that is Rachel went in and with the city, and I mean, it was a partnership. Again, it wasn't just, it was everybody together. They gave her the locations of where the trash receptacles are going to be. She went in and generated a QR code there, and then also took the time to take one of the pictures of the child's actual artwork at that place. So you see the QR code, you see the actual artwork, and then she put together the statement that the student made about, picking up trash and all that, and put it all together. And it's also on the Main Street website. So anybody, if there's somebody, a special one they want to look at, they can just screen or just scan that QR code and find out exactly where it's at and go there and look at it. And I really love them. I've been really watching them as I'm driving around town, and you notice them right away because between the white on the Pick It Up part and the artwork and the arrow, I think it's just wonderful. I love it. I love the idea that it was a community project, and I'm glad that we were able to help with some of the logistics and the things that needed to go with it. So yeah, that, and then of course this, I have been doing a little ticker here, guys, since we came on. And I will tell you that we have 36 likes since we got on today. So it is possible. At 36 likes, and the Pella group has only had 4. So right. I don't know if people are watching here or what, but please go in and click and make sure you make that one vote that you can do for the Fort Dodge mural. And I just think it's it's just fun, and we'll get a lot of attention across the state as well. So it's a great program. Other things going on, of course, digital, a lot of working on hiring. I've got 2 SHRM programs that I've been asked to speak at as well. Yep, thank you. Come on, vote. I want to see the ticker tape go up a little bit before we leave. So yeah, I've got a lot of programs that we've been talking about how to hire and how to use digital marketing for it, as well as making yourself look good online so that whoever is looking for an app, applying for you, that you stand out against it. So we've been doing a lot of that. And yesterday I spent time in Coralville with some of our clients working on some big events, which, like you said, Jed, now that we can get out and about, our clients are looking for events. And so they're coming to us and saying, okay, how can we get the word out? How can we market them? And websites, I don't know, we probably got about a dozen that we're working on. Never a dull moment. And it's fun. It's fun. And I know, Jed, you do the same thing. We both really partner on some of these things that we're doing. Some of them you're doing radio ads and we're doing digital, or you're doing digital and we're doing some other things for them. So it's really fun to see what's going on in our community, and it's just everybody's come alive. That's what I feel like.
That's a great way to put it, is just everybody's kind of I guess sloughing off some of the just attitude even that came with COVID of we can't go out and we can't do some of those things. It was almost like a year-long cabin fever is all coming off at once. And people are just really excited to get out and begin doing things. So normally at this time, we'd be taking some time and talking with the SBDC. They're both on vacation this week. So really excited for them to be able to get some time off, well-deserved. And I'm sure we'll get an update coming up very soon about some of the things going on with the SBDC. But that's okay. It gives us an opportunity to talk with Rachel a little bit, because I'd love to hear kind of what this project has been like for you, coming to Fort Dodge, interning with Spin Market and Digital, and working on some of these projects, putting it together. What has this experience been like for you?
Well, I've been doing a lot of different things, and do you want to mute yourself? Oh, okay. Sorry, we're right by each other. So I've been learning a lot. I worked on the Pick It Up project where I had a map of all the kids' names, and then I had to go in and find the longitude and latitude of each of those. And then I put in each photo that the children made, and then you can go right now onto the Main Street Fort Dodge website, and there's a little link to them. So if you want to check that out, I made all of those codes.
Very nice. So we've been talking a lot in the last few weeks and really months about hiring and what it's like to find the right people. I'd love to hear from your perspective as you're working through college and, looking at, okay, what internship do I do? What was that experience like for you? Was it difficult to find an internship? How did you land in Fort Dodge? Walk us through that internship process for you.
Yeah, so I'm going to school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but I went to high school at Humboldt. So I grew up in the area. I live in between Humboldt and Fort Dodge, and I knew I wanted to come home for the summer, so I found a few different internships, but here at Spin Market, it was, just communicating with Cheryl. Even before I came here, I could just tell that I would enjoy it. She was very nice, and she told me I'd be working on a lot, and that's true now that I'm here. So I actually found this internship from their website, and I just sent them a message like, do you have interns in the summer? Because I thought marketing would be a good experience for my major.
That's really interesting, but because it's something that we talk about a lot here is getting your digital presence up to speed on and letting people find you that way. So you're sort of a testament to that having that online presence and website ready to go it's how you found us.
Yeah.
Well, very good. We're excited to have you on board and helping out with creating great shows for us each week. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this show this week. Always excited to have all of our guests as a part of this. We've got, of course, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market and Digital, and of course, Rachel Copper joining us as well. Chris Patrick, the Executive Director of Main Street Fort Dodge. And from America's SBDC, we have either Kimberly Tiefenthaler or Darcy Swan joining us usually, and I'm sure we'll see them again real soon. I'm Jed Burns, the Market Manager for Alpha Media Fort Dodge, and we'll do this again next week. We'll do this again Thursday morning, 9 a.m. We do this on the Alpha Media YouTube channel and also the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page each and every week. So like, share, give us a comment, and go to that WooBox link that you see there and make a vote for the Fort Dodge video. So hopefully we can get that mural in our hometown. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.